So yeah, this is my first proper track day on this bike. It's only my third actual real track day on a motorbike. I've done lots of track days in the past with cars and that, but yeah, just got into doing bike track days in the last little while. Yeah, this thing's a bit of a weapon. So it's a 2012 Bmw S1000RR. I'm not running tyre warmers or anything on this session. I did on my previous sessions, but today I opted just to run road tyres, and I didn't pay the extra for the pit garage and that, and just wanted to see how I got on. So yeah, I've got to take it easy for these first couple of laps because my tyres are cold. So I mean, I can still open it up in a straight line. That's one of the best ways to generate heat into your tyres when you are not running tyre warmers and just running road tyres. If you're hard on the accelerator and brake, that'll heat your tyres up a lot quicker, so you just got to take it a bit easier in the corners. Don't push too hard. I've just got running in sport mode, so I've still got all the aids on, so I've still got ABS and ready control and ditch control and all those things. I've kind of opted to run those because it's the first time I've ridden this bike on track, and I wasn't really sure what it would be like. In the past, my previous track day I did to this was also on this bike, but only 5 minutes into the first session the fuel pump died, so I'm not really going to count that. The previous time on the track was on a old like 2006 Yamaha R1, so it's 4 analog, no ABS, no traction control or nothing. And on that one I did find the limits. I braked so hard the back wheel was coming off the ground, and I got a bit early on the throttle on one of the hairpins, and the back stepped out and it tried to high side me, but I kept the throttle pinned and managed to walk away from that, which was pretty impressive considering I'm still like a relatively new rider for bikes. But I've probably done I don't know, close to 100 track days in cars, and then I only got into bikes probably just after lockdown, so like nearly 6 years ago now. And yeah, there's only third track day. Yes, I'm trying to just progress. I didn't quite get a knee down, but if you're watching some of these clips on these right-handers, I get pretty close to getting the knee slider on the ground. And I was trying to move around more on bike. Last time I wasn't really, I had this similar shot, and I wasn't getting my butt really off the seat. I was still leaning and stuff, but not moving around. So this time I was trying to get off the seat a bit more, get right over like I am here, get like your knee or whatever down. I chose to put the camera on the side because it's mainly right hand turns, being a circuit that runs clockwise direction. So this is Hampton Downs, which is it's like 45 minutes north of Hamilton or 45 minutes south of Auckland in New Zealand. It's a pretty epic circuit, and this is the Bmw Motorrad track day for 2026. It was on a Thursday, so I took the day off work. I ran a bit wide here, as you can see these guys are about to go past me. I left my braking a little bit late, and then I kind of thought I'd scrubbed off enough speed to sort of turn in, and when I tried to, I ran wide of these two guys, and it just creeped down the inside. I have got another shot which I might throw in looking forward, but I found this one was a bit more interesting because you can see what I'm doing here, like getting off the bike and trying to get a knee down, so you can see there it's not too bad. And they put a chicane on the straight, so you gas it, you get a brake here, and so for practice days, which this is, you've got to get around these cones. It's further around actually, I was thinking it was further around. So that's the push dipper, there's this straight, and then this next turn is the last turn before you get back onto the main straight. And as you do, I'll point out this chicane. So they put the chicane in because probably the first track I did, there was no chicane, and then I think shortly after that, there's someone on a practice day got killed actually, it was fatality, because there's a thing you got to watch out for on this corner. Well, they call it a straight, but it's one big corner sort of. There's like a bump, and apparently this rider hit the bump and ended up in the concrete wall. So now they put that chicane in, which we've just driven past now, to try and scrub some speed off so you're not going as quick through this part here, because there's concrete walls on both sides. It is quite dangerous, and this track is quite challenging if you've never done a track day before. It's got some some quite big elevation changes. You're coming down a hill here around this corner, and then it opens up, and then after the straight you come this right-hander, so this is turn 2, and you come up over this hill, and it kind of flattens out as you transition. So you go up over the hill, transition, and then you go down this next section down here, and then it kind of flattens out for this next part. This is a tight right-hander, back to first gear, really lean it right over, apex run wide, and yeah, it's an awesome track, heaps of fun on a bike like this. Like 1000cc bike is probably a little bit overkill when you're learning like I am still. My first track day was on a Yamaha R6, a 2013 one, which was heaps of fun, and then yeah, I just progressed to bigger bikes because I'm quite tall. I'm a bit tall for a 600cc bike. Like these are much more comfortable, and it's not just a track bike, it's also road legal. So we've got this in a 2011 Yamaha R1 currently. And yeah, it's a ton of fun to get out on track. Highly recommend it if you own especially if you own a 1000cc sport bike. Like they're not really designed for going on the road. I mean, people say you can, daily them or whatever, but it's basically a race bike with indicators and stuff on it, and they're pretty rapid. Like this is the place to go try them out and see what they're really capable of. And yeah, you can't push too hard on the street because you end up losing your license pretty quickly if you go too quick. Whereas take it to the track, get off the street, and open up and see what you can really do. It's a way better place to learn what the bike's capable of, and really improves your riding at a much quicker rate, in my opinion. Yeah, for this clip I'll just run just this one view. I might do another edited one, like a shorter highlight video with both sort of views. But this one to me is much more interesting because the forward view you can't see what the rider's doing at all. All you can see is it tipping into the corners and stuff. And I mean, yes, you can see the speed and stuff, but that's not really that important. You're getting, I don't know, I wasn't watching the speedo when I was out there. I was getting like near the top of 4th gear, so you're going pretty quick right now. You'd go a lot quicker if they didn't have that chicane. My mate who had a Ducati Panigale V2, when he did that track day, I was there on my R6 at the time, he was hitting on a speedo like 270k, which might be overrating slightly, but yeah, you're doing at least a 250-ish real world speeds on this straight if the chicane wasn't there. So this is the chicane here, I'm slowing down, I think, oh no, yeah, here it is here, yeah, so you gotta go through there and there, so you scrub a ton of speed off. If that's not there, you can literally hit close to 300k on this straight if you leave your braking late enough. This is the national circuit. When they're on the international circuit, the back straight is really long. I think if you're keen enough and leave your braking late enough, you can hit close to like your top speed of your bike. If it's something like this, you can do close to 300k. I haven't done the international circuit, I've only done the national circuit. I would be keen to try it at some stage once I was a bit more confident in my brakes. On my first session towards the end, I was running out of brakes. The lever was going a bit spongy, like they were still working, but I had to, there was a lot more travel than what I was hoping for. Like it was just getting real spongy. I'm not sure if that was the pads getting too hot, because they were meant to be like a double sintered pad, which I thought would take the heat, and I had only just put fresh .4 brake fluid in that a couple of weeks ago, so I thought the brake fluid would be fine, and they did come back. So I don't think it was a brake fluid thing, because if it was the brakes and I had all the fluid, they'd remain spongy, whereas once they cooled down, they came back and they felt good, and I ended up just adjusting. So I'm just running the factory levers, but they've got an adjustment on there. I ended up winding that up a bit, so that way if they did heat up again, it wasn't going to run out of travel on the brake lever, so it wasn't going to come all the way back to my handlebar. So I just dialed that up more, and then I didn't really have another issue with it. Like, I didn't notice that it was coming right back after that. But I may look into getting a better set of pads if these ones aren't really going to cut it for doing track days. They've just been replaced before I bought the bike. I saw the invoices from the previous owner who just had them replaced, and not long ago I just actually had the front brake line burst on me. I was just doing a test around the road for warrant of fitness on it for my mechanic, and I was doing the warrant test on it, and as I brought it into the workshop and jumped on the brakes to check for play in the headset, that one of the front braided brake lines burst on me, and it must have just been worn on the inside edge. I think the bike might have been previously damaged in the past, because there were a few marks on the engine covers and stuff, and then it's all been repainted, and I think it must have just rubbed through maybe after the accident or something, or in the accident, and I hadn't noticed it because it was right on the inside edge where you couldn't see the line, and yeah, it popped. But I had it, initially I contacted BMW to see how much it was for a new replacement brake line, but for the front one it runs all the way back to ABS pump, and it was going to be $800 in about 8 weeks away, normally 6 weeks, but it was around Christmas time. So I ended up sending it to a local company who rebuilt it for me for much, I think it was nearly a quarter of the price. They just replaced the braided brake line part that was damaged, so all the rest was all good, and had a lot of fun trying to bleed it afterwards. I couldn't just manually bleed it, I ended up having to use a syringe and back bleed it, so force fluid back up through from the bottom, from the caliper up, and that sorted that out. If you were to run into problems bleeding brakes on these sport bikes, I would recommend back bleeding it, so you put brand new fluid in like a little syringe, open up the bleed nipple at the top, and then force fluid back in from the caliper through the bleed nipple at the bottom of the caliper, and that did wonders. Got a brake pedal or brake lever shortly after that, and then I was able to manually bleed it up, which, yeah, to treat. But yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet for a second so you can kind of enjoy the noise of the bike doing a lap around this awesome track. So we're just about to go around this last corner, and you can watch, I think probably my last lap actually. I won't even get the cool down lap, we'll see what happens. Also for track days you got to tape up your wing mirrors. I'd kind of angled it there so that it wasn't blocking the vision of this camera looking back too much. I tried to angle it so it was more or less in line with the camera, so you could see what I was doing. But yeah, I could have unbolted them maybe to try and get it out of the way a bit more. Oh, I've picked the wrong map, I'm pretty sure. I might do another minute and a half, so this will be my cool down lap. So I might do another video. You can kind of hear what the bike's doing a little bit more. But yeah, I'll try and upload some more videos of some track days, and I might do an edited version with the front view as well as this back view to show you my point of view. Well, you don't actually allowed to run a helmet camera on these track days, you can only be on the bike, so the other view I've got is looking forward from the petrol tank. So it's not a true point of view, but it gives you a view of where you're going, and you can kind of see a bit more. With a clear screen, I think it should be a pretty good view. But yeah, I'll only ever post proper track day videos. I'm not going to put me doing anything illegal on the street, like when I ride on the road. I play the or I try to most of the time, but yeah, I'll just be putting up videos of me doing track days and giving tips. Feel free to comment below